The season for scary stories is upon us. This week I'm bringing you a ghastly story from the backwoods of West Virginia. It was collected by Ruth Ann Musick in her book, The Telltale Lilac Bush and Other West Virginia Ghost Tales. It was told to her by Robert Leeper of Fairmont in 1954, who heard the tale from his mother. According to the stories handed down to Mr. Leeper's mother, this murder actually happened. So gather round the fire and huddle in tight. Prepare yourselves for the legend of the head in the well. In an old homestead near Mount Harmony, West Virginia, 150 years ago, lived a beautiful young woman named Mary Meadows. Every man for miles around wanted her for his wife, but she only cared for Tom Dixon, who, like herself, was young and handsome. The wedding day was set, the big cabin was made ready, and the marriage took place. The young couple seemed to be ideally happy. Some of Mary's many admirers were very disappointed over her choice of Tom Dixon. One man especially seemed broken-hearted. His name was Jack Wilson. He was an odd person who never forgot anyone that got in his way. As the months passed, he got worse. He wouldn't talk to anyone, was always in the woods, and people saw less and less of him. Soon he was a type of wild man, bearded and dirty, with clothes and rags, and eyes that had the look of a maniac. One day, Wilson saw Mary in the town of Fairmont. Knowing that Tom Dixon would be home alone, he crossed the river and took the road that led to Mount Harmony and the Dixons' farm. Along the way, he stopped in a nearby woods and retrieved a sigh that he had placed there long before. Like some wild animal, he crept up on Dixon, who was hoeing corn in his big cornfield. However, Tom's dog saw him and started to bark. Tom looked around just in time to see the wild-looking madman coming at him with a sigh. He started to run for the house, with Wilson close behind him. He had gotten as far as the well when he tripped, and before he could get up, Wilson was upon him. Now he had to fight for his life, and some fight it was. But he finally took the sigh and with one big swing cut off Wilson's head, which rolled into the well. Horrified at what had happened, he carried the body deep into the woods and hid it under the brush. He never said anything to his wife about the fight, and even killed a young pig and threw it into the well to keep anyone from using the water. 2 weeks passed. No one missed Wilson much because of his queer ways. He was believed to have left the neighborhood and was soon forgotten. However, he was anything but gone, and soon everyone was to know of him in a different way. Without any warning, Tom Dixon, who in 2 weeks seemed to have aged 20 years, sold his farm, took his wife, and moved to the far west, never to be heard from again. The new owner of the farm was a very good man by the name of Salters, who soon moved in. This was the story he told. Every night when the moon was full, he would hear a deep voice call out from the woods, "Where is my head?" From down in the abandoned well, a burbling answer would come, "Down here in the well." Then the voice in the woods would say, "Where? I can't find the well." Then, after a short pause, the voice would start all over, and the conversation would be repeated over and over all night long, until the full moon would disappear the next morning. This went on for years. Salters moved out, and nobody would live in the house any length of time, and the farm was soon reclaimed by the woods. For more stories like this, head on over to theweeklyholler.com and sign up for our free email newsletter. If you like folklore and thrilling tales, you'll love my new novel, Some Dark Holler, the first book in the Redemption of Ephraim Cutler series. Ephraim Cutler has blood on his hands and a hellhound on his trail. When his mother forces him to kill an innocent man, Ephraim Cutler's quiet life in the Appalachian Mountains is thrown into turmoil. With a bounty on his head, Ephraim flees to the hills and hollers, where he discovers that his crime has drawn more than the law's attention. The devil's in town with his eye on Ephraim's soul. Desperate to escape, Ephraim is torn between two clashing figures, an outcast granny doctor rumored to be a witch, and the local preacher. As the line between grim reality and the supernatural disappears, death rides the ridgetops on a pale horse, and the devil's hound haunts the backwoods. Ephraim must decide who to trust, evade the hangman's noose, and find redemption.